this meeting to order. At this time, I'll ask Mr. Cowart to please lead us in our prayer and our pledge.
You'll stand, please, with me. Heavenly Father, as we come to you today, we come to you just thanking you that we're here in Levy County. We thank you for the staff who care about and love on our students day in and day out. Lord, as we deliberate and make decisions that affect our students and our staff, we pray for guidance and wisdom, Lord. Lord, we pray for guidance and wisdom for our legislators and those in D.C., Lord, that you would be with them and help guide them and give them wisdom and guidance also. We ask all these things in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
If you'll address the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cowart. Do I hear a motion to adopt our agenda?
I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes to adopt our agenda. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure having everyone here today. I'm glad to see some visitors and join our meeting, so thank you all for coming today. I'll turn it over to Mr. Cowart for our highlights tonight.
Yes, ma'am. So at this time, one of the things that's great about Levy County is we have a lot of people that are in our school system that are homegrown. So, and tonight I'm happy to bring up a Bronson Eagle graduate who's now leading Bronson Elementary. So Miss Marlene Wiggins, so she can come up to the podium and introduce who she has here with her. So.
So tonight, I'd like to put a spotlight on our special area teachers. They're often our unsung heroes in the school system, and so I want to share tonight how much we appreciate them and all the things that they do to engage our students in learning and how they enhance their classroom lessons. We have here tonight with us Miss Tyler Latham. She is our art teacher, and we also have Larry Swartz, who is our STEAM teacher. He affectionately goes by also the name Mr. Shorts or Mr. STEAM, so he'll answer to any of those. But these folks serve BES in so many different ways. They're our breakfast crew. They come in early in the morning, and they welcome each one of our students who are coming in off the bus and coming from from car pickup, and so that each one of our students, as soon as they're coming into the cafeteria, they're met with a welcome smile, and somebody is calling them by name, so that each of our students, they corral all those students, get them in and get them out of that cafeteria in that little short window of time. Each of our students they start their day with that welcome and that warm greeting from our breakfast crew. So each week, each of our special area teachers, they see nearly every single student on our campus from K to 5. And when I say that they see them, it's not just that they have them in their classroom. They really and truly do see each one of our students, because they have challenged themselves to and each other to learn all of our students' names, so that whenever when they see a student, they're calling them by their names, and they're truly recognizing what that student can do. And often we know that our students are not necessarily their strengths may not necessarily be in the classroom, and so quite often their gifts show up in the art room, or a way of having a hands-on building project or something like that, for an engineering project, or they might be an athlete or something like that, where these students can really shine in special area. And so these are the folks that can really pull that out of each of our students. We also have Nancy Leach, who is our partner with CDS, and she is she works with our guidance, and she helps our students learn how to advocate for themselves and how to make sure that they're sticking up for each other and things like that, as far as, in a bullying situation or things like that. And then we have Mr. William Scott, who is our he is not here with us tonight, but he is our PE coach, and he's always recognizing students and helping them to become better team players and things like that. He's also our district PBIS liaison, and so he does a lot for our students as well. And then we have Miss Amber Hassel, who is our media clerk, and we'll talk a little bit more about what she does. But these folks bring out the best in a lot of our students. So. with Miss Amber. She has her bachelor's degree in anthropology, and she's a media clerk right now, which means she's a para. However, we are begging her to take that test because she would be awesome in the classroom, but right now she says she feels very fulfilled in what she's doing. But because of her background in anthropology, she really likes to pull in those social studies aspects, and so she, like Hispanic history and Black History Month, Women's History, all those things. She's always doing things that that help to what's the word I'm looking for? Make it better. She always is able to dig a little deeper in things that students may not be able to, teachers in the classroom may not be able to go as deep as she can, and she can set up things in our cafeteria, in our library to be able to so that students can dig a little bit deeper in those areas that pique their interest. We do feel like that we have the best little library in Levy County, and she does a lot in there. That she sets up book areas that students can go and dig a little bit deeper in things that they enjoy. She makes it feel wonderful and welcoming in there, and it's a place that adults as well as students want to be. Whenever you come into our library, you'll notice that. She's always curating cultural artifacts from all kinds of different places, and so it makes that library someplace all of our students want to be. Miss Latham, she is our art teacher again. I was in her classroom just this week, and she was working with kindergarten students as they were learning about symmetry, and I couldn't help myself. I was very excited to be in there, and I wanted to join in, and I was just as amazed as they were whenever they were they did an activity where they drew half of a bug, and then it was able to transfer over, and then whenever they opened up their papers, the other half was there, and they were, it worked, and so they were excited about that, and I was just as excited as they were to be in there. But you can see some of the pictures there that the students have expressed themselves, and these are students from all of our different classes. This is one of our students in the middle there is from one of our varying exceptionalities classrooms, and all of our students are encouraged to be creative in these different ways. So let's see. At the top right, in celebration of Read Across America Week and Dr. Seuss's birthday, students in K-12 learned how to draw their own version of the Cat in the Hat. On the bottom right, kindergarten students were introduced to shapes and lines and how to turn those elements into their works of art. And to begin their shape and line unit, students reviewed the shapes by manipulating Play-Doh to create their favorite shapes and to practice how to make the tricky ones too. The bottom middle, fifth graders explore different artistic mediums like printmaking and learning the process and then using their creative freedom to create imagery that interests them. The bottom left, they learned a little bit about Jackson Pollock and his energetic technique of action painting. Top left, the portraits were not always their favorite project because they can be intimidating for the students, but to make them feel more comfortable, Ms. Latham tries to incorporate imagery from popular culture, and in this one you can see that they used the 8-bit video game character portraits and to make the students feel more comfortable about drawing their self-portraits. And then in the top middle, we have first and second grade students used foil and water to create vibrant and beautiful leaf collages. So over Mr. Swartz in our STEAM, he is, no matter what our students call him, they love going to his class. They love being in there. He says that, that science can be a little loud and messy, but that's what science is, and our students love to be in there. And we talked with our teachers today, and we told them we were coming tonight to talk to them, to talk to you guys about what they do, and we asked them what they would like for you guys to know about our team, and they said how Mr. Swartz is always checking in with them, always asking them what's going on in your science, what's going on in your math classes. We want to know he wants to know what you're doing so that he can enhance that and what he's doing in the STEAM classroom. So these are some of the STEAM investigations. And the top right, I was able to be in his classroom when he was teaching this lesson, and the amount of the vocabulary that was going on in there. This is when second grade was learning about force of gravity, and they investigated roller coasters and how they work. They used pool noodles and marbles and cups to do that, and the engagement with the students, they were testing their hypotheses, and they were just digging in, and the amount of engagement there and the amount of vocabulary, higher order vocabulary they were using was just awesome. Down in the bottom was when fourth grade was learning about pirates. They used the opportunity to review the engineering process and design treasure chests that had a latch and that opened with a hinge there. Third through fifth grade investigated how to use forces to make objects move, and they created their own marionette puppets. And then the top one, kindergarten and first grade learned about objects in the sky. So they learned about the sun and harmful the harmful UV rays that it produces, and so they used the UV beads there. And Miss Leach, she is with she's a partner with us through CDS, and she presents the Too Good for Drugs and the Too Good for Violence programs. So students created a peace mural for the windows in the guidance classroom. Prizes were awarded to students that participated in the annual Red Ribbon Week poster contest. Say that 3 times real fast. But she's instrumental in putting that together for our students. And then on the left, students enjoy a game day as a reward for their hard work and their good behavior. And then, of course, Mr. Scott, his daily goal is to integrate fun activities with sportsmanship and team building. And our students are always love to go to PE. And he is also, Mr. Scott is also our PBIS leader on the school campus. You can see that we pass out Eagle Cash to our students that they can use to spend in the Eagle store, but they also have this duck program that he came up with this year. So when the whole class comes together as a team and are making sure that they are following those BES expectations, they can earn a duckling, and when they get a certain number of ducklings, then they have some ice pops or some snow cones that Mr. Scott makes.
He pushes around a cart with a cooler and the snow cone machine, and it's really cute.
But another thing that our teachers said today was that has made such a difference in their classes as they're going to, when they're going to special area, and the class comes to, it has to all work together, and everybody has to do their part in order to earn their duckling, and they say that has really made a difference in how they are behaving at special area. And then some other things that our teachers said was that kindergarten is the first group to go to special area in the mornings, and the kindergarten teachers just raved about how even when students come to school and they may not be in the best of moods or things like that, when they go to special area, then they come into the classroom, they're in that mood, ready to learn. Their attitudes have changed dramatically from when they first came into the classroom and in the mornings. And there's one other thing that I wanted to mention that our teachers.
Miss Latham, Miss Brooks.
Oh yes.
When we had gotten with our faculty today and asked them what were some things that we could mention to you all, she just mentioned how our special area team always makes our teachers feel loved and welcomed and appreciated. And Miss Latham has taken on the role of making our teachers feel appreciated, and so she does little projects with our students and then goes around and posts them around the school, and that really just boosts morale and makes teachers feel appreciated. And then it kind of reminds the kids that they're, take time to let others know that we are thankful for them, we appreciate them, the qualities that they bring to us at school.
But we are so very grateful for everything that our special area team does, and we're just very appreciative of them. So thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
Can I say one thing, Madam
Certainly.
Chair? I just want to thank you guys, because I just think in the days that we're in right now, to show kindness and love to these kids and make it your mission to know their name, and the teachers showing them appreciation, that creates a whole culture of a school.
Yes.
And we all seek it only takes one or two bad seeds that create a negative culture. So, good
There's
job.
such a light on our campus.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Good
It
job.
is.
Yeah.
That's great, thank you.
Thank you.
Marlene, you can take a breath now.
I wanted to do it fast.
So, you did a really good job. So,
Thank you, come up to the podium.
So, before we get going here, so we've had some changes, and so Marlene, so would you just make sure we introduce everybody? So I know we also have our new AP.
I'm so sorry. This is Kayla Speed.
I know everybody knows, but and I think you can see, and Ms. Clemency touched on it, so that there's a lot of good things that are going on. So, and I know that in light of everything in education, whether you see it in Tallahassee, in DC, or just in the newspaper or whatnot. So if we just home back in and look inward to our campuses, truly great things that are going on. So good job.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I think over the summer, we introduced you to our two district mentors, Cecily Smith and Lauren Whitehurst, as you remember, who head up our PDCP program. This was instrumental, and Mandy Smith was instrumental in getting this on the ground. We copied our program from Putnam County, and it's been very successful in our district. As you know, we don't have people going through the education program in colleges any longer, so most of our people are coming here as a second career, and it brings on challenges and extra certification and tests that they have to go through. So Cecily and Lauren want to highlight what our program is doing, but it has been extremely successful in Levy County. So I'll give it over to Beth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so for those that don't know me, I'm Lori Whitehurst.
I'm Cecily Smith.
We are the district mentors, teachers for Levy County, and we just kind of wanted to share the why, the how, what we were doing, and share some of our successes this year. I actually get to work with Larry every single week, and this is his mentor, Slatham, who is excellent, site-based. So it was really exciting to see all of his stuff get spotlighted. All right, so year one. So we'll go on. All right, so why district mentors? Why did Mandy run and say, we need help? So in 2019 is the first time Levy County started to track our temporary certificate teachers. So teachers that went to college for something else, they did not go through a teacher prep, and they decided, hey, I want to give teaching a try. So back in 2019, we had 8 temporary certificate teachers in Levy County, and out of those 8, 3 of them had enough coursework once they had their college transcripts reviewed by the Department of Ed to choose PDCP. So PDCP is offered through NEFEC, and it's the Professional Development Certification Program, and 3 of those 8 teachers chose PDCP. We're going to zoom to 2023, and in 2023 we now have 72 teachers in Levy County on a temporary certificate. And out of those 72, some of them might have gone through a teacher prep program, and their course of study might have missed a college course here or there, and they might have needed one, but we had 37 teachers decide, I have enough coursework, I need to choose the free program that NEFEC offers, PDCP, and so those are the teachers that we work with every day. So that's our why.
Okay, so our goal as PDCP mentors for the district is this: in order to support teachers in completing the requirements to upgrade their temporary certificate to a professional certificate, we needed to provide an additional layer of support for those teachers on top of their site-based mentor in their school building.
So they have 3 years on their temporary, and then they can move to their professional, and they'll be certified for 5 years before they have to renew. And research shows that every layer of support adds 5% success for an alt-cert teacher to stay in teaching. So this is adding another percentage of success on our teachers by having our site-based, like Ms. Latham, and then me on top of Ms. Latham supporting Larry every week. It was a great opportunity to have somebody hear that that I can use as an example. All right, you want me to do this?
Sure.
Okay. So how do we do it? The first step was these Alt-Cert teachers, they get this 3-page document from the statement, from the Department of Education that says you need to do this, this, and this, and they're like, what? What do I need to do? So we help break down what is that coursework, what test requirements do they need, and help them decide, do they have so many courses that they need to take? Is PDCP an option? So we bring them in, and with NEFAC, Suzanne Beck of NEFAC helps us train the teachers or give them an orientation in what is PDCP. And it is coursework that covers things that you would get if you had gone through a teacher prep college, and all that coursework.
We also provided monthly PDCP cadres here in the boardroom to support teachers in completing their 20 tasks for PDCP. We also helped with test prep. We helped them complete reading competencies, all of the things that they have to complete for the state to become professionally certified. We, most importantly, provided weekly one-to-one scheduled support time at their school building with them in their classroom to help them with whatever they needed, but with a heavy focus on the PDCP task work.
So that weekly support time was broken up into 2 different avenues, I guess. So daily and weekly needs. So when we would come in, we could offer them support in whatever areas they needed. If it was, we need them to survive tomorrow, that's what we focused on that day. If we needed them to survive this week, that's what we focused on. But there became a point where we weren't living in that cycle anymore, and so we could transition to working in that PDCP tasks and testing. So helping them find that test prep that they would need for the teacher certification exams that's required by the state. Whether they could pay for it or they couldn't pay for it, finding them free, finding helping them navigate the website to register for the test. Working with principals with, they can only take the test at this certain time. Is there a way for us to get coverage so they can go take the test? And then also working alongside of those teachers with these tasks. We say 20 tasks, but some of these tasks have 6 parts to each task. So breaking it down, it's self-paced, and these Alt-Cert teachers are fabulous, and they have a lot to learn. And then adding, knowing how to pace and do this assignment went then, just helping them navigate that piece.
On top of teaching.
On
top of teaching.
On top of teaching,
Yeah.
yes.
So we're going to take a look at the numbers. So as far as temp cert teachers, Levy County has 72 teachers on temporary certificates. PDCP teachers, we have 37 teachers currently enrolled in PDCP. And if you look at it by year, break it down by year, we have 11 teachers that are in their 3rd year on their temporary certificate, so it's expiring in June. We have 12 teachers that are on year 2, so they have next school year to complete, and then we have 14 teachers on year 1. So you can see the trend is that it grows year by year.
So this is our complete slide. So in our year 3s right now, we have 10 out of our 11 teachers that have completed PDCP. One is still currently working to finish. Out of those 10, I'm pretty sure all but one have already applied to the state for their upgrade for their professional certificate. So we're just waiting for it to be issued. For our year 2s, we actually had 2 people finish a year early from being able to work and support them as additional layer. And then we have one other teacher that's working hard to try to complete it by May. And then our year 1s, we actually have 2 teachers that are in their 1st year teaching that are going to either complete coursework and or testing by May. So once they have that training and the headspace, then they can focus on all of their instructional things. So we're excited about their success so far. So we wanted to share kind of what the mentees said. So we have the fabulous Megan Wooten here.
From Chiefland Middle High School.
From Chiefland Middle High School.
She is a year 3 completer, and we are so very proud of her.
She wants us to say.
I was told specifically I could not improv or freestyle, so I had to put something on paper to have reviewed ahead of time. So First, I'd like to thank the board for this opportunity to share my experience with PDCP and the newly created district mentor positions. To be employed by an organization that not only requests but values input when considering impactful decisions is precisely the reason I took on the overwhelming anxiety of public speaking in shoes I'm not comfortable wearing. So, to give a brief history, I received my bachelor's degree from Florida State in criminology, and after 13 years in the field, I needed something different. The educational icon, Miss Susie Slaughter, pointed me in the direction of teaching, and specifically to Chiefland High School. I was initially hired as a long-term sub teaching algebra and math for liberal arts in August of 2020. I know what you're thinking, what a great year to start a career in education. My first trip to the district office, I was introduced to the PDCP program. It was here I was told how difficult this program is and how very few people are successful. And if not for the restructuring of the program and the addition of the mentor positions, I feel that it would continue being the phrase offered to new hires. That first year, however, I was told not to concentrate on PDCP, despite its difficulty and lower success rate, to just survive. That it was detrimental to learn the immediate, such as district policy, safety protocols, our online educational platforms, district and state testing, what a 504 IEP and accommodations are, and specifically what happens when you don't get a TDA form to Donna Brock. As imperative as these were to master, they had nothing to do with understanding different learning styles, behavioral management in the classroom, or implementing teaching strategies that increase student engagement or the productive struggle. Essentially everything you need to be an effective educator. Looking back on my first year, I felt unqualified and alone in my struggle. Growth in the classroom was more trial and error than planning and execution. I survived my first year solely because of the amazing people like Letha Tyner, Stacy Drummond, and Lori Thomas, who provided on-the-job training and remedial training with the patience of biblical proportions. Katie Corbin graciously allowed me to serve her class and ask questions every single day. Coincidentally, I found out later Katie had never taken a personal day until I started teaching. Suffice to say, any professional development that occurred within that first year was entirely because of the tremendous support around me. While I felt more comfortable with the content and school procedures for the second year, I still lacked actual teaching skills in the classroom and knew my students deserved more. Thankfully, I was introduced to Tanya Taylor shortly after. Although an avid elective teacher at the time, she introduced me to the focused note-taking process and afforded me the opportunity to observe a math teacher at Williston. Regarding progression in the PDCP program, however, I finished my second year with 2 certifications and approximately 80% of the program remaining. Less than a month before this current school year started, I added a bit to my figure plate when I was able to switch from math to my dream job of teaching U.S. history in Avid. In addition to acquiring entirely new content, I was assigned a district mentor charged with the insurmountable task of helping me navigate the majority of this program in 7 months. Insert the sweet, unsuspecting Cecily Smith. Tasked not only with a new professional territory and a slew of mentees spreading across the educational spectrum, she also had me. Once described by a professor as having the ability to distract students even in an online course, I'm one you would correctly assume requires guided instruction at a desk directly next to the teacher. In addition to being an easily distracted student and an overwhelmed teacher, Cecily also had to combat my negative attitude towards the program itself. After 2 years of just a few tasks completed and passed tests, I struggled to see any value in the program. I reduced any true professional development gained in the first 2 years of teaching to observing other teachers and taking what I could back to my classes. By last August, I diminished the program to simply a series of hoops to jump through in order to satisfy state requirements. Embittered by failing to manage the program independently, I had a fixed mindset. Cecily, however, did not seem to acknowledge my resistance and subsequently shifted my paradigm anyway. The designated time to work with your mentor one-on-one makes the course load not just manageable, but ensures quality submissions. Individual time with my mentor meant guidance and tasks involving classroom contracts and also provided a safe space to practice teaching strategies. It was during the scheduled time with my mentor where I was able to prepare for formal observations, create quality lesson plans, produce standard-based assessments, and receive genuinely constructive feedback. Because of this, I started to feel I was doing more than passing tests and completing assignments. I was implementing what I had learned and was seeing positive results in the classroom. Feeling not just connected, but effective with my students produced confidence I hadn't felt since starting the program. The monthly cadres at the district office provided extended professional support, not only with the mentors, but with my colleagues as well. It was in this room where I met new teachers across the district working towards the same goal of becoming an effective educator. Understandably so, it's fair to see where this program can directly affect the retention of proficiently equipped educators in all of Levy schools. Cecily and Lauren did more than run a program with fidelity. They did more than ensure current and future students a teacher who can design lesson plans with specific learning goals while providing differentiated instruction that's in line with state standards. They brought value to this program. They contributed to our proverbial toolboxes with every interaction. They were invested in us. They were accessible. They followed up and followed through. They were professional and patient, even when I was not. They were absolutely everything you would want in an employee who genuinely understands the paramount responsibility of what they were tasked with and passionately committed to teaching the teacher. It is your collective dedication to the professional development of teachers and commitment to the future of Levy students that implemented this program. And it is because of this program, a new generation of educators can contribute to this effort. Thank you again for allowing me the opportunity to show my appreciation for this program and these mentors. I'm truly indebted to everyone involved.
You can imagine how those weekly one-on-ones went. Full of laughter, I will say. They were full of laughter. Okay, we have some more feedback.
Yes, so not everybody could come and share, but we did have some mentors shoot us some feedback. So you want to read?
Sure, this was Jonathan Irizarry from Bronson Middle High. He's a year 3 completer. He said the district mentor position has been such a stroke of genius, and Cecily and Lauren too, I'm sure, has been so incredibly helpful every step of the way this year. Whether it was keeping me focused and on task, no small feat, or providing helpful feedback after an observation, Cecily has always been forthcoming about her willingness to help. I am genuinely jealous of first-year teachers because the support and insights our district mentors are able to provide is truly invaluable. Even for a third-year teacher, there is still so much to the job that can be overwhelming, and Cecily, again, I'm sure Lauren has acted just as admirably, helped me navigate through it all successfully. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Miss Kayla Hicks at Yankee Town School, she's a first grade teacher and she's a year 3 completer as well. Prior to having a district mentor, I had difficulty keeping myself accountable. I would become sidetracked and oftentimes overwhelmed by the many other responsibilities that I have as an educator and would put those responsibilities before PDCP. I felt like I never had any time. Having Lauren set a time in her schedule that was solely devoted to me, it helped me tremendously. She would come in and help me with literally anything on my to-do list that she could. This went as far as helping me enter grades into the data sheet, to striking and hanging posters in my classroom, and this would give me time to focus on the PDCP assignment at hand. And when I felt like there wasn't anything she could help with, she would be present to provide feedback on the assignments I was working on. She was also always there to provide clarification when I became confused. Lauren was very encouraging throughout the whole process. She helped me to create the time in my schedule to complete the assignments, as well as to create a weekly plan for task completion. I literally could not have completed the program by March 1st without her constant encouragement, guidance, and accountability.
Okay, we have Laura Mascott, a 5th grade teacher at Wilson L. She's in her first year. Having Cecily as my district mentor has been extremely helpful. I've been able to not only go to her for suggestions, but she's been able to guide me and make sure that completing the right task in the correct order, that she is completing the right task in the correct order.
All right, Matthew Lunsford, music at CES. He is a year 3 completer. I can say for sure that while I thought the requirements for my professional certificate were going to be challenging, I vastly underestimated the scope of completing the requirements necessary to become an official teacher. I really didn't have a good understanding of how involved it would be with coordinating the submission website, the coursework, as well as scheduling and studying for multiple tests. Having just completed all the requirements, there is no doubt that while yet still challenging, it would have felt almost unachievable left to my own devices. My district mentor was invaluable with support and accountability. She made several different revisions of the task checklists gave encouragement, sound advice, and most of all, accountability. Also, being out of field, it was so helpful to have someone who had been in the classroom setting that was able to help me better understand foreign concepts and teacher vernacular. My mentor also served as a sounding board to give me the confidence that I was on the right track with my thinking and that I had completed tasks satisfactorily. I am very thankful that this position came about when it did and that I was able to benefit from it in such a significant way.
All right, we have Saffron Dodd at Chiefland Middle High. She's in her second year. From my perspective, the support I've received from the district mentor teacher has been invaluable. Having someone to encourage me throughout this year and gently push me to stay on track has been a positive experience. I work best when I'm accountable to someone other than myself, so when I know that I'm meeting with my mentor, I am motivated to keep up with my tasks and tests. In addition, it was nice to have someone to talk to about my experiences in the classroom. My district mentor teacher listens and thoughtfully provides suggestions to work through my issues without making me feel judged. She provided the guidance and resources I needed to face challenges and helped me feel empowered to rise to the challenges I faced. I appreciate all their help this year.
Right, Jenny, she started the program as Judy Neats, and she got married this year. Now she's Judy Baker, second grade teacher, JBE, and she's a year 3 completer. Having the district mentor was an amazing change from last year. When attempting to work on the program last year, I often had questions and no one to turn to. There was no one checking in on me and helping me pace the assignments to get them done in time. Lauren checked in with me every week to ensure I was confident in what I needed to do to complete the program in time. She was my biggest cheerleader and celebrated every little victory with me. The feedback she gave on assignments and observations helped me to better my teaching. The monthly PDCP cadre nights gave me a dedicated time to work on the program and an extra time to check in with the mentors. I'm extremely grateful for the district mentors and all the work they put into helping us succeed.
We have Morgan Sweeney at Bronson Middle High. I promise we're not going to read you feedback from every single person, but we feel that this is the most important thing, what they're getting from it. Having a district mentor was life-saving during many times of the year. Being able to reach out to them anytime was so helpful, especially when I was learning to navigate platforms I'd never had before. I think it definitely put less of a burden on my on-site mentor, meaning the one at her school building, too, because it was not always easy to find or meet with them, or they already had a million things to do. Not saying the district mentor didn't either. I do not think I would have been as successful this year if it was not for them. I'm going to be an early completer for the PDCP program, and that is all due to them helping me map out what I needed to do and develop a timeline to do it in. It was really nice to have weekly check-in meetings where we would sit down and solve problems and plan things together for the future. These meetings also gave me a lot of reassurance and confidence I was on the right track. This position should definitely become a permanent position to continue to help the new teachers to come. And again, she's a first-year completer. She will be complete. Yeah.
Ms. LaTarsha Jones at CES, she came on in the end of the first 9 weeks on a temporary certificate. As a first-year teacher who had no idea what direction to go in, it is very comforting knowing that you have a mentor as a valuable resource. All right, Amber Ryan, first grade CKS, year 2 completer. The PDCP mentorship program is an inspiring experience for new teachers. My experience with the PDCP program and my county mentor, Lauren Whitehurst, was positive. Lauren encouraged and supported me with assignments throughout the course. Lauren was highly supportive and was always available to answer questions about my assignments. Not only did Lauren support my journey with the PDCP program, she also provided support for my classroom teaching. My mentor's unwavering support is why I succeeded in the PDCP program. Is that it?
I think that's everybody.
Okay, that's who. Good thing nobody else answered our survey. I'll be here all night. So I hope that gives you a glimpse into our program.
Do you have any questions
Do
for
you have
us?
any questions?
I think it's an excellent program. You're doing a
Yeah,
fantastic job.
Thank you.
Wow.
How do you make it to all the schools?
We had to work on that schedule
Yeah.
together this past summer, yes.
Yeah.
We have certain schools that we're in charge of. That's how we divvied it
Yeah.
up, so.
You know, we went in with one focus, that we were gonna stay in kind of our wheelhouse and then share an area that we knew we were both gonna have to grow into, and then it didn't work that way.
No.
So, carpool on Mondays to the Chiefland community, she drops me off the car line. Bye, Mom. And she picks me up at the end of the day, and then for the most part after that, we're maybe across the street from each other, but we're not always together. But she has brought me to the digital world, and she's helping me grow.
I love this program. I feel like the job description of a teacher has changed so much in the past even 5 years. So for you to say, even if it's getting through that day, for that teacher is huge because of everything our teachers deal with in just a day. So I'm a big fan of this program. I think it's amazing.
And we can attest.
Getting her through it?
Yeah.
I know a little bit about what you had to deal with.
Having their support at VES has been tremendous. We have teachers who, like you said, sometimes need just the mental support to get through it all. They need to know how to structure their time. They're learning so many different things as a new teacher about our district, about teaching, how to be a teacher, how to, manage a classroom. And those are such heavy and weighing things. So to add all of this on top of their plate, but to have you as a mentor, both of you, has just been incredible. And speaking from an administrator too, and a new administrator, I don't know how we would ever be able to devote our time and that level of support to those new teachers like you do.
Well, thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. Item number 7, Mr. Lott.
Before they leave, so, yes, before, so since you're going to slide out, so I came to Megan and had said, I know how instrumental this program has been, and I'd like you to speak, and I want you to know how much I appreciate you, and I appreciate you fighting your fear and what this has meant to you. So
I appreciate having a job.
well, I think we worry about test scores and we worry about data, but at the end of the day, it's about making relationships with kids or adults. And I think you look here, so Bronson graduate, invested in their communities. So Williston graduate, so Chiefland graduate. That's what makes Levy County so special. And it's because of the effort of here. I don't know how many nights I came in and would see people, they're on their computer, they've got their headphones on, they've got snacks going on here. And, there was some that they were dragging them to get them across because our principals knew that there's a hard deadline, that we've invested time in these people, and if you can't get it done by the end of April, we have in contract things that we have to do because they're going to not be what we need. I just did the math here. We average nationwide in rural districts about $9,000 a year in what you invest in a student. We've got 2 great mentors there. So board, I implore you that when it comes to budget time next year, of how important those 2 positions, and maybe we don't look at investing into another one. So $333,000 is what that means to our district with 37 PDCP. So, and we won't keep them all, but I think the idea that we kept somebody, we kept them moving along and got their permanent certificate. So, and it's always great if we steal somebody from Gilchrist County. So I love Levy, and I appreciate you being here, and I didn't want you to leave without me saying that. So
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all are always welcome to stay. Always welcome to come back to our board meeting.
Thank you for having us.
Wow, I get up and everybody leaves.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm here,
I only came for your presentation.
I got one fan. All right. Good evening. As you know, we introduced these board policies last time, and so we're just going back over them. And I'm happy to say that 6.06, which the board had implored us to look at and take out some limitations that were in our original policy. Tonight, I believe it is correct for you to look out. And
It's in red.
you see that we did strike that
120 days, and we talked about the reasons behind that, trying to be competitive with other districts, and there are some things that are beyond our employees' control when it comes to verifying this experience. So, are there any questions on that particular policy? Okay, and then 10.05, I keep trying to do that. This particular policy was introduced by Ms. Julia, and I think she explained that, what this would do by eliminating that last, number 13, that last segment there, would just give us some additional flexibility in the future if it was needed. Hopefully it will not be, if it's needed, because I think our number one mission in food service is to provide food. And this would give us some greater flexibility in doing that.
On this one, I want to be sure I understand it. And it's my understanding that this is not necessarily changing anything we're doing. This is making it able to change if
Yes, sir.
situation necessitates. Like, for example, U.S. Food drops us, we now go with Cisco, but if for some reason Cisco won't do business with them, we can go to the other.
So
I will readily admit I had a concern about this when last time we talked about there were some personnel things that went along with this, and having had a chance to realize it, that can be a good and bad thing, but our personnel will be okay. That's what I have earned from it, and it's not something we're making this where in case of that emergency, and I'm wanting to be sure I'm right, in case of that emergency, we have a net to catch us, and that we can address that. If that emergency comes back, then we make a decision on do we jump to this.
That is correct.
Okay. I just want to be sure I understood it. That was
I had the same concerns originally, and the way I look at it, if we don't change this, we'll have the staff,
but no food.
but no food. So it's one of those things where hopefully
Well, hopefully it never comes about.
it never comes to that choice.
But if it does and something happens, then the board will be aware of it.
And there's a whole process that goes along that if we're to go down that path. So
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, next time we'll bring it back before you for a vote.
Okay. Thank you very much. All our public comments, anyone sitting, would you care to comment or anything you want to address or bring to the board, or any issues? Okay, seeing no public comments, we'll move forward to the approval of our minutes. Has everyone had a chance to read over our minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any changes or corrections? Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes for the February 28th meeting?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes to approve the minutes. Thank you very much. Our consent agenda. Ms. Clemency, do you have any questions?
All my questions were answered. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aswell.
I have no questions.
Ms. Boyle?
All my questions were answered with Mr. Cowart.
Thank you, and I have had a chance to talk to them as well. Do I hear a motion to approve our consent agenda?
I move to approve. the
Second.
consent agenda.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes for our consent agenda. Do you have any questions on the finance agenda? Okay, do I hear a motion to approve our finance?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Finance agenda passes. Mr. Howard, do you have any comments or recommendations?
I know we'll be in Tallahassee tomorrow with FSBA's Day in the Legislature, and also having an opportunity to hear about some of the issues that are going on. I know Ms. Boyle has shared FSBA's platform, and I know you'll get some more information up there. I do want to just bring attention to you in case you did get a question. So there was a program that was being offered through the Department of Health. So it's called Our Smiles Count Project. So, and basically Chief Middle High School has agreed to be a part of this. And just in case you get any questions with that, it deals with dental hygiene. So I just wanted to kind of make sure you're aware that it's an approved program. So in case anybody calls you and asks any questions on that. So the other thing is next week is Swanee River Fair, and I'll pass along. So here is through the years where we've bought an animal. So last year was a Bronson student. So, and if you look, it's pretty even amongst Bronson, Chiefland, Williston, and with Cedar Key and Yankeetown being so relatively new with their ag FFA programs. So our numbers. But I know when I talked to Ms. Weatherington and Mr. Thomas in Yankeetown, so I think there's 4 animals amongst those 2 schools. So I would be a proponent of Cedar Key first, if possible, and then Yankeetown second. So
I think that's wonderful.
Okay, all right. I will make that happen for us. So, and I know some of you will be over there that day. So, and be active. I think, not to belabor the couple presentations that you saw tonight, but there is an awful lot of hard work that's going on, and I know a lot of times that we can get stuck in the forest and we can't see the road and the growth that's happening. But I think there's a lot of people putting a lot of effort to make sure to support our teachers, to in turn support our students. You see people here at the district level so that are going back and ensuring and making sure, whether it's frantically trying to help create test items and to test for our teachers after cadres have met to talk about the different item specs. So there's a lot of good things going on. So, and I know we hear about a lot of the bad, and we're not where we want to be. So, but we're moving in the right direction, and we got a lot of people working hard, and I just really appreciate the efforts. So, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Swansea, any comments?
I do. I'll share a little bit of Williston since Devin's not here, but Williston basketball team won the state championship, which is huge, and I would be a big supporter of any of our schools winning a state championship. That's just such a big deal. And Williston band also got a Superior, right?
They did.
Am I right on that? So that's
Same
a big deal
night.
also. Same night, yeah, that's right. And to give a shout out to Yankeetown, Dee let me know, with my note, that 98% of the staff will return to Yankeetown, which is a huge number. I'm so excited about that. Like you said, Fair Week, FFA, I'm glad that Yankeetown's one of the schools that we're supporting this year. And I just wanted to give a shout out to the academy that Mr. Slimp is starting. I think that is a great proactive program that we're doing, and the mentor program. I'm a huge supporter of it. I think that is exactly what we need in our district. So a lot of good things going on. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Aswell?
Thank you, ma'am. I'll be very brief. As we all know, the fair's coming up, and I think it's fantastic that we live in a county that realizes how important that is to our students. And when you think about it, a majority of our students participate that in some form or fashion through 4-H, FFA, those things. And I think it's great that we support that so wholeheartedly. I'd also like to commend Miss Bray. Miss Bray is working very hard to turn around some attitudes and things at Bronson Middle High School. And she's doing a great job with the community and those kind of things. We got a couple former Bronson Middle High School principals and assistant principals here. It's a challenge. It is very much a challenge, as is at every school, small town school. And they know the struggles of it, and it's impressive what she's doing so far. And she's implementing some great ideas to get with the community. And I always say, school's an institution, but it doesn't need to look institutionalized. She's doing a great job. It doesn't need to feel institutionalized, and she's doing a great job of that, and I'd be remiss if I didn't compliment her on that. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Ms. Boyle.
There's a memo that Mrs. Lawrence sends out every Sunday night, and sometimes when you just read things and read numbers, it's shocking. But they're gearing up down there for iReady in 9 days, and she put there's only 28 days until the end of the year fast in IXL. So it's to me, it's shocking how quickly it went. And then this week is the last of the third 9 weeks.
It's been fast.
It's been really fast. But they're all gearing up down there. Sports are going great. And I want to mention, because I know it'll come up quickly, this Cedar Key Arts Festival is April 1st and 2nd. So that's always a good time. And lots of good food that the school puts out. Real quick on the templates that are in front of you, if you want to look them over or put some information in there, or whatever you need to do, these are just the templates from FSBA that they give to a lot of the school board members, especially the new school board members, you know, if they were going to run into their legislature, and just talking points, just some information to have and look up and know. And that's all that those pages are for you. And that's all I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. I know everyone is looking forward to spring break and the spring break, the fair and everything that goes on, everything that's involved. I just do want to brag on Chiefland High School and Katie Corbin. She sent us some information about the scholarships, and that 246 separate students had applied for scholarships. That is a huge, a big increase. Kids that are really applying. It's a lot of work that goes into that. I mean, I've been on those committees and even reading those scholarship applications and what they have to do. The students put a lot of work into that, and I'm really proud of them. I think it's great. And she said that they have one new scholarship from the class of 2014. I think she helped push that a little bit too. And but she really wanted to brag on those seniors, and I'm really proud of them too. I think that was wonderful. Chiefland Elementary, Ms. Weber is so informative. She's always getting the information out there and letting teachers, staff, everybody know. And I'm really proud of that communication. I think it just makes everything smooth and run nice, and everybody is certainly aware. So that is very, very nice. And I want to wish everybody a wonderful spring break. I'm sure we'll all see each other somewhere, and we'll see each other in Tallahassee and be up there. So if there's no other comments, have a great evening, and meeting